What do you make of these statistics in regard to Rishi Sunak's popularity, or indeed lack of?
Well, I don't think he ever really had a great following amongst anybody, really. I mean, he's a nice enough guy. He's fairly unobjectionable, a bit like David Cameron, I suppose, in his early days, but he never really had any great kind of tribe, as it were. And he's not tremendously charismatic. And ultimately, the popularity is linked to the policies or disastrous lack of policies to make this country a better place. So I'm only frankly surprised that his popularity is not worse.
Can he claw it back, either personally or politically, or is we just on a glide path to a Labour victory, Isabel?
I think it would take something very, very dramatic to turn his fortunes around. If I were him, I would genuinely be considering something extraordinarily bold, like sending in the Navy to turn back the boats in the Channel. I think if he did that, I honestly think his popularity would soar. But that is not Rishi Sunak's personality. He's not a big risk taker. And a policy like that, although it's hard to imagine why it should be so very controversial, obviously would be. And it's just not the kind of person that he is. It's not the politician that he is.
We're in a situation where on the 4th of January, it'll be the 1-year anniversary of him saying, judge me on my 5 pledges, judge me on these 5 things, one of them being stop the boats, which he will argue he's lowered the number of boats coming by 1/3, and that's better than other European countries. But also he'll talk about lowering NHS waiting lists. They've gone up to 7.7 million. Someone in 1 in 5 households in this country is on an NHS waiting list. And then the 3 others on the economy, he can argue that inflation has come down, but it's still higher than the Bank of England would like it to be. When people are marking his report card in a few days' time, just after Christmas on the 4th of January, how is he going to defend that? How is he going to say that, OK, we got 1 out of 5?
Rishi Sunak was an incredibly focused and extraordinarily hardworking schoolboy. You know, he was head boy of his prep school. He went on to be head boy at Winchester College. He's an outstanding scholar. But when it comes to the tests that he's set himself, he's made a schoolboy error, very elementary, to set yourself as Prime Minister a series of tests that you can't be sure that you're going to achieve. And in the end, saying that you've reduced the number of boats by a questionable 1/3, I mean, that's the figure they use, and trying to take credit for that isn't going to fly, when actually the test you set yourself was stopping the boats, and what voters see is a steady stream of crossings each and every week with more people coming over. That's just going to end up with 0 out of 10. He might think that he's got 3 out of 10 for reducing it by 30%, but that's not the way voter psyche works. And in any case, some of the other measures, I think it's hard to say that he's really responsible personally for any achievement on. I mean, the NHS is a massive, massive issue, which has been overshadowed these last few weeks because of the fuss over immigration, but affects each and every one of us.
Has he achieved anything in the last year, Isabel, in your estimation?
Has he achieved anything?
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, I'm struggling. You know, I think if I were a Tory MP having to go out and campaign on the doorstep, you know, what is the story to tell?